They didn't force her out because she'd broken a rule or caused a disruption. They did it because her presence made the wrong kind of people uncomfortable. A black woman in first class? To them, that wasn't a ticket, it was a threat. The judgment wasn't whispered. It was announced, loud and polished in policy. One flight attendant even said she must have gotten lost trying to find economy. Then, with a smile thin as thread, they told her to move, right to the back, near the bathrooms. But what they didn't know, what they never imagined, was that the woman they tried to erase wasn't just a passenger. She was a quiet revolution in tailored wool, a storm that knew how to wait. The terminal hummed with quiet energy, all rolling suitcases and overhead announcements. Claire Devlin walked calmly through Gate 18. No flash, no spectacle, just poise. She wore a fitted slate gray suit, a gold-lined blouse, and simple leather flats. A navy satchel hung at her side. The shine in her eyes came not from vanity, but from experience. Years of moving through closed doors and rewriting what had been written to keep her out. She gave the gate agent a polite nod and scanned her pass. "Welcome aboard, Ms. Devlin," the woman said flatly, eyes barely lifting from the monitor. Claire stepped into the jet bridge, then into the cabin. The first-class section glowed softly. White leather, lavender air, gleaming brass. She found her seat, 3A, stowed her bag, buckled in, and let out a breath. She had earned this. Every mile, every hour. And still it started. Quick glances, tight-lipped smiles, flight attendants whispering behind curtains. "Did you see her?" one asked. "She's in 3," another replied, smirking. Maybe she got turned around. An older attendant, her lipstick crimson and her tone clipped, stepped forward like a blade. Her name tag read Pamela. She walked with robotic precision to Claire's seat. "Excuse me, ma'am," she said sweetly. "May I see your boarding pass?" Claire didn't blink. She handed it over. Pamela squinted, reading longer than necessary. "This says first class." Claire's voice was calm. "That's correct. Seat 3A. There's been a mix-up. Can you step into the galley for just a moment?" "No, thank you," Claire replied, voice low and composed. "Unless there's a problem with my reservation, I'd prefer to remain seated." Pamela's smile twitched. "Sometimes the system overbooks. And sometimes people assume I don't belong," Claire said softly, arching a brow. The murmur around them grew. A man nearby angled his phone discreetly toward the scene. "I need to verify your seat," Pamela said, louder now. "Please come with me." Claire stood without a word, took her satchel, and followed. In the galley, Pamela glanced at a manifest. "According to this, you're not in 3A. Claire didn't budge. "Want to double-check with your supervisor?" Pamela froze. Then a younger crew member stepped in. "She's correct," the woman said in a whisper. 3A priority tier. Paid in full weeks ago." Pamela's face didn't change. "Well, welcome aboard, Ms. Devlin." Claire returned to her seat without a word. But just minutes later, a tall white man in his 50s boarded. Cashmere coat, leather briefcase, a smile too confident. A young attendant beamed. "Mr. Granger, welcome. We've arranged for you to sit in 3A. Claire frowned. "Excuse me. That's my seat. We just resolved this." Pamela said nothing. Mr. Granger settled in like the issue wasn't real. "Must be a mix-up," he said, waving a hand. "Not like this," Claire said firmly. This was deliberate. Pamela cleared her throat. "Ms. Devlin, can I speak with you again?" "No. We've already done this." Another attendant appeared, holding a slip of paper. "Ms. Devlin, due to a new VIP override, we'll have to move you." Claire stared. "I confirmed this ticket twice. You're asking me to move for a voucher." The silence that followed was loud. She stood, slow and regal, took her bag, walked the length of the cabin like a shadow through glass. In 34E, across from the lavatories, she sat down. The air smelled of bleach and bad coffee. No one helped with her bag. Her knees bumped the seat ahead. She pressed the service button. 10 minutes. 15. A young man arrived. "Yes. Water," she said simply. "We're out of bottled." "I'll check." He returned with a paper cup of lukewarm tap. "Here. I'd like to be treated like I paid to be here." He walked away without a word. Claire sipped the metallic water. A young girl next to her whispered, "I filmed everything. Since they made you move." Claire gave a small nod. A silent thank you. Then a brunette attendant appeared, eyes sharp. "Turn off the phone." "Why?" the girl asked. "I'm not online." "Security protocol." Claire watched as fear replaced resolve. The girl tapped her screen. The flight attendant returned minutes later. "I don't know what stunt you're pulling," she hissed. "Just because you can afford first class doesn't mean you get royal treatment." Claire turned toward her. "Is that your professional opinion? We see people like you all the time," she snapped. "Acting entitled. Money doesn't erase everything." "No," Claire said softly, "but it buys dignity, which your airline failed to deliver." The attendant scoffed. "You want dignity? Fly private." She stormed off. Silence hung like fog. Claire reached into her bag, pulled out a notebook. She began writing. Flight 307. Seat 3A reassigned. Suspected racial bias. She noted crew names, timestamps, overheard phrases. Then she opened a secure app and uploaded everything to her legal team's internal reporting tool. Washington and Rowan wasn't just her company. It was her armor. Just then, she noticed the man now in 3A laughing with an attendant. "Uncle Charlie still pulls this off," he said. "Every time I fly, someone gets bumped." "Perks of being family," the attendant replied. Claire's pen didn't stop. "Passenger in 3A, relation to Charles Rowan, VP of Operations?" She looked up as the captain emerged. Their eyes met. He recognized her. He turned away. She logged it. Then, quietly, she triggered Clause 9.5, Internal Audit Protocol. Within seconds, 2 passengers seated nearby activated recording devices, part of her firm's embedded ethics auditing program. Veronica in 26A began typing into a disguised device. Darren in 25C began narrating into a hidden mic. Claire remained still. She wasn't done. By the time the cart returned, the same hostile brunette muttered, "Out of sparkling water. Coffee machine's broken." She didn't wait for a reply, just rolled on. Claire smiled faintly. From 3A, the man laughed again. "Kids these days don't know their place." Veronica logged it. Then, Claire received a buzz. Employee witness flagged incident report. The machine had turned from within. The sky outside burned orange. The plane began descent. Then a voice rang over the intercom. "This flight is under real-time audit by the Department of Transportation." Heads turned. Crew froze. Claire sat unmoved. The man in 3A shifted. The businessman in 1C leaned forward. Recognition. Claire opened a note. Drafted an official memo. Subject line, "Discrimination Incident, Flight 307. The woman in the galley, Claire, the youngest flight attendant, stood frozen. She had seen everything. She had served both passengers. One demanded, one endured, and she knew the difference. She tapped into her tablet's hidden mode and wrote, "Crew coordinated exclusion. Passenger Claire Devlin. Racial bias suspected. Recommend audit." She sent it. Claire received another buzz. "Anonymous crew report received." By now, the world beyond the plane was already spinning. Journalists were being tipped. Phones were recording. Footage leaked. Claire didn't say a word. When the plane landed and the intercom clicked off, she rose slowly, walked forward. Stopped beside 3A. "My name is Claire Devlin," she said aloud. Gasps. "I'm CEO of Washington and Rowan, the firm leading your terminal expansion." More silence. "I've just informed my board. We are terminating all contracts with Skylux Airlines." The cabin was silent. Then she added, "We build spaces that welcome the world. If your gates are only open to some, they are no longer worth designing." She walked out. Into the terminal. Reporters waited. "Ms. Devlin, is it true you ended a $750 million contract mid-flight?" She raised a hand. "I'll speak in time. But I asked to leave this space with the same dignity I entered it." And the crowd parted. Later, the footage spread. Claire in seat 34E. Claire standing. Claire naming names. Hashtags. Hashtag she didn't move. Hashtag altitude shift. Hashtag Claire Devlin. The airline tried to bury it. Too late. Their stock plummeted. Executives scrambled. The captain was suspended. Pamela was fired. Granger's uncle was exposed. More passengers came forward. Stories flooded in. Claire didn't speak again publicly. She launched Clear Line, an ethics training initiative. When it began, someone was waiting outside her boardroom. It was Claire, the young attendant. She held a letter. "I failed," she said, "but I want to do better." Claire studied her. "Then join the first cohort," she said. And Claire did. Claire wasn't building airports anymore. She was building truth. And because of her, the skies would never be the same. End story.